A lot of y'all are calling us and asking us about Lake Forest here in Daphne, Alabama, Baldwin County. This is a pretty popular community to move to, so I'm going to give y'all the scoop and tell you everything that I know about it. I'm Jessica. My husband Tony and I are the #1 relocation team here in Baldwin County, here to help you find your home in Lower Alabama, whether it's on the Eastern Shore or down on the Gulf of Mexico. We've got you covered. We're your best resource when researching and locating that perfect home for you and your family. Now, with that said, let's dive right in to Lake Forest. This community gets a lot of attention due to the modestly priced homes, of course. If you've been looking at houses in Baldwin County, you're probably noticing that there's a trend. Prices are steadily rising. Some areas cost more than others. Lake Forest definitely tends to stand out amongst the rest for a lot of different reasons, and that lower price point is definitely one of them. Daphne in general is one of the most sought after towns to move to in all of Baldwin County. This area has exploded. The school system is a major driving factor on why so many desire moving to Daphne, along with its affordability. There are going to be pros and cons in every neighborhood, so I'm going to give it to you straight. Lake Forest can be hard if you have little kids, if you're on one of the main streets. The roads here are plentiful and hilly and curvy, so you might not be comfortable with your kids out riding bikes or playing on the sidewalks because there can be a good bit of cars zipping through. Now, keep in mind there are over 3,000 homes in all of Lake Forest. It's actually the largest subdivision in the state of Alabama. The roads I'm referring to are going to be Ridgeview Drive and Bayview Drive. These two are the main roads in the entire subdivision, so be aware those will be the most traveled streets, and they are one-ways divided by a median, so you will get stuck behind school buses and garbage trucks or delivery drivers that are all making stops. Patience is definitely going to need to be practiced, which most people are good about, but there's always that one you know what. Lake Forest is a very family-friendly community, and not far away you've got Urban Air, Hobby Lobby, Dick's Sporting Goods, TJ Maxx, Bass Pro Shop, PetSmart. You've got the Ulta, there's a Walmart, there's movie theaters, so many great restaurants. The churches close by are great. There's thrift stores, you name it. I'm honestly just scratching the surface too. This area is a hub for shopping, restaurants, and entertainment. And Lake Forest just puts you right smack dab in the middle with easy access to everything. I know some people complain about the police presence in Lake Forest, but you need to take into consideration its population. It's a huge neighborhood with a lot of houses, so anytime you have a higher density population in one small section, that automatically increases the probability of any activity from first responders. And there's a police station right by the front entrance off Highway 98. If an emergency ever did arise, they get there really quickly, but it explains the police presence in Lake Forest. I personally like having a police station practically in my neighborhood because if in the event of an emergency, help will be available instantly. I know I don't want to wait if there's an emergency. Tony and I lived in Lake Forest when we first moved here in 2016, and we loved it. We were on a quiet street, Wedgewood Court, and it was a really great experience. We had friendly neighbors who we celebrated holidays with or watched college football with. There was school bus pickup right in front of our house. It never felt like an unsafe place for our kids to play, which I deeply appreciated. This particular road that we lived on was off of Ridgewood Drive, like so many others, so we really didn't have to deal with that through traffic. This community definitely has a mix of established homes. Most people take care of their properties, some better than others, just like any other neighborhood. One street will be full of super well cared for homes, and the next street over might look like it's a little more run down or not updated or as well kept. And I'm just being honest with y'all, and that can really happen anywhere. They put in sidewalks and there are a lot of people walking their dogs. It's a super walkable and bikeable neighborhood. Don't get me wrong. There are just a lot of people who live here, so there's gonna be lots of cars driving through. And it's definitely a forest, so you're gonna have lots of trees, lots of leaf cleanup. Get ready to do a lot of raking. And you'll see a lot of woodland critters, everything from possum to deer, and plenty of cats. The location is really nice. It's only 16 minutes from downtown Mobile. It'll take you 20 minutes to get to Fairhope, 45 minutes to Pensacola, and an hour to get to the Foley Gulf Shores area. And definitely keep in mind, it could take you 10 plus minutes to get to your house in Lake Forest from the time you enter the neighborhood because it's that big. I'll show you all a picture of Lake Forest on the map just to give you an idea. But it just depends on which entrance you're using and where your house is in the neighborhood. There are so many communities in Daphne, and Lake Forest is more affordable than some. This might be due to the homes being older, but that isn't necessarily a bad thing. Houses here are definitely a little bit more unique. It'll just depend on your style and your budget. Now, if you don't mind cookie cutter, then look around at other subdivisions because that's what you tend to see a lot more of right now. So Lake Forest having a variety and not being a cookie cutter community does make it appealing, along with all of the amenities. Lake Forest maintains and operates 3 swimming pools. The original swim and racket club pool, which is a junior Olympic sized pool. There's also a playground, picnic tables, and there's charcoal grills available. And then there's the Montclair pool, which was completely updated in 2017. It's a beautiful pool and it's great for families, especially ones with small children. At least a third of the pool is very shallow. There's also picnic tables and a playground at this pool. And finally, the Ridgewood pool, which was also completely updated in 2018. This pool includes a separate toddler pool. You've also got another playground just adjacent to the pool. If you weren't aware, the Lake Forest neighborhood is located on the Lake Forest Golf Course. No wonder my husband had us living there back in 2016. This course offers rolling fairways with a variety of elevation changes. The course has it all. It's got a putting green, practice bunker with a chipping green, and a large driving range. Lake Forest Golf Course was awarded the Course of the Year in 2014 by Golf Today, so that says something. It features a full-service golf pro shop, as well as a 19th hole grill, which some say has the best cheeseburger on the Eastern Shore. In addition to the golf course, there are several tennis courts. You can even join tennis clubs or take lessons from the Lake Forest Racket Club. Residents get access to the Lake Forest Marina, which is actually located across Highway 98 on Mobile Bay. Their marina offers a variety of services, including dry slips and gasoline. They have very, very reasonable storage fees for the residents in Lake Forest. There's also the Lake Forest Horse Stable. They offer riding lessons, trail rides, birthday parties, even lease and board options. And Lake Forest residents get a pretty decent discount. They get $25 per month off a full board. They get $5 off lesson prices and trail rides, and they get discounts for birthday parties as well. So there's a lot of perks to living in this community. I mentioned Lake Forest has a lot of mature trees. So yes, it's very wooded. And if I'm not mistaken, it took a while to clear the roads and for power to be restored after Hurricane Sally hit back in 2020. But the thing about Lake Forest is, for the most part, it's just one big family, and after the hurricanes, they all rally together and help each other out. Oh, and just a heads up, the county created new drainage east of Lake Forest. There are homes that were never in a flood zone that have recently been reassigned by FEMA as a flood zone. So just a heads up, if you're looking at homes in Lake Forest, definitely double check their address on the FEMA website because flood insurance can be very pricey. And you don't want any surprises, and you also don't want to risk living somewhere that could flood on you. Okay, one last thing that I can think of worth mentioning is that some of our clients didn't like how a lot of the driveways are so sloped in Lake Forest. You have to remember there is terrain and it is a hilly area. And if you have people over, there might not always be somewhere to park if you live on those main roads. So definitely something to take note of when looking for homes in this community. I would come visit first if you can and just drive through and see what you think, or reach out to Tony or myself directly for virtual driving tours. We're always out doing videos and getting drone footage for all of our out-of-state buyers to help you all get a really good idea of what certain areas are like. All right, that wraps up this video on Lake Forest. If you're ready to check it out in person, give us a call today. We're your #1 relocation team in Lower Alabama. And to learn more about living in Baldwin County, watch this next video.